Cubs manager Joe Maddon is expanding his brand. He's now selling beer. So I had the chance to sit with him at Haymarket in the West Loop to talk about his choice of hops. We were just going to ask, try not to suck became the mantra of the 2016 team, and now it's been on the title of a book, it's been on t-shirts, now it's part of a beer. Did you ever, when you kind of came up with that and talked through that, did you ever think it was going to get as big as it's gotten?
I thought it'd get big, but not like this. It was actually me and David Ross talking in the dugout one day. We're trying to express, as a major league player, as a manager, trying not to embarrass yourself on a daily basis.
Right.
So we came up with try not to suck in the dugout. Went right to the t-shirt. I've been doing the t-shirt since the mid-'80s, and obviously it's stuck from the foundation's perspective. For Respect 90, it's made a lot of money for the foundation. Just as a t-shirt, as a slogan, Jay had it trademarked. So now on the beer, but beyond just being on the can, the beer is outstanding.
Yeah.
It is really a great beer. So yes, did not envision all this popularity, but we'll take it.
Are you a Pilsner guy? Is that why it's a Pilsner?
I like beer. I mean, but I stopped drinking. I mean, listen, I hate to admit it, but
whoa, we're here in a bar when you're
I
saying
know,
this
I know,
area.
I know. It just goes right to my brain, and I don't have many brain cells left. So I do like a beer, and I like the fact that our beer is such a light beer. I do dig the heavier ones, but they don't dig me. Yeah. So I've really adjusted over the last couple of years, but I do love beer.
You mentioned the foundation. We got a lot of veterans here in the house. Yeah. I was chatting with some of them. Why? I mean, that's got to be an important part of this, and why you invite them here
It's
today.
so significant. I mean, we wanted to do this. We wanted to do the beer thing in order to raise money for the foundation, but then to be tied with the veterans and the homeless component made it even more attractive. So we're very fortunate about that, to be affiliated now with the groups that we are. I've seen the recent some photographs of some of the guys at the loading dock. One fella actually had been homeless and is now doing well as a veteran, and the other guy still dealing with homelessness. But I mean, my biggest thing is I never served in the armed forces. That's one thing I do regret. My dad did, and all my uncles did. But the point I'm trying to briefly drive at, it amazes me that people have fought for us to be able to do things like this and exist the way we do, that they ever would be homeless. Whereas when you sign to fight for everybody, that should pretty much be like a signature for a home for the rest of your life at the same time. And I'm hoping it gets to that point.
Amen. I asked a couple of the veterans what they'd ask you if they had a chance to sit in my chair. And one of them wanted to know, all right, so you got the shift going on, which is obviously more prevalent than it's ever been.
Yep.
You see Schwarber do it every now and then, lay down a bunt to try and beat it. And one of the vets wanted to know, why doesn't Rizzo do that more often? Is it harder than it looks?
It is harder than it looks. Listen, it's when you're sitting up top or watching on TV, you just don't get the perspective of what 95 mile an hour feels like, or 95 movement feels like, and the fact that they can do something off of that. There's very little time to make up your mind what to do and how to do it. So, but this past spring training, a big part of our camp was to work on that. But there's also the right time to do it. And so we're trying to educate the guys in the right time to attempt it, and as they attempt it, to be more efficient at it.
4 years with the Cubs, 4 playoff appearances, first pennant in 71 years, first World Series in 108. Do you mind armchair managers, or do you just not even
embrace it?
Really?
Oh, of course. I mean, listen, that's what this game, our game, everybody thinks they know everything about it, and I think that's great. I mean, we exceed football in that regard. We exceed basketball in that, or hockey, whatever. You watch those games, you get into it. But this is the one game that almost everybody's played in some form as a kid. And I have no issues with that whatsoever. I actually kind of enjoy it.
So if you're sitting next to a reporter who, let's say, has been to the Wrigley bleachers a few times, maybe has a phone on him, maybe tweets a few things,
sure.
You're okay with hearing some of those things that reporter may have asked questions about?
It does, of course, because it doesn't matter.
Right, no, exactly.
So
exactly.
That's the whole thing.
Well, I wanted to read you one. Can I read you one?
Sure, please do.
All right. Great World Series, Game 7. Mike Montgomery coming into the game. Never had a save in his career. We're doomed. Eye roll emoji. Hashtag Joe My God. Hashtag Joe Maddon. I guess it worked out for you, Joe.
The Cubs win the World Series!
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. I mean, when things like that occur, normally it's like somebody probably somebody on the TV broadcast may say something, and then people that know nothing will grab that and run with that.
Right here.
And that's pretty much how all this stuff occurs, and I understand that.